You know, early on in this process, about, I don't know, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, one of the bloggers said, oh, Cleve, you really should have gotten a consensus from the community before moving forward. To which I responded, oh, please. You know, it's simply impossible. And it's because of the nature of our people. We are not all the same by any means. We are born into wealthy families and poor families. We're born into black and white and brown families. We're born into Methodist homes and Lutheran homes and Buddhist homes and Muslim homes and communist homes and Republican homes and Democratic and Libertarian homes. And we do not have one monolithic leadership or structure. So, you know, trying to provide leadership in this community can be an awful lot like herding cats.
So I'm going to have these for you right now. This, about a half hour?
Yeah, good. And it is challenging. But the flip side of that same reality is the incredible potential that gives our people to be bridge builders, to be those who lead the way in forging coalitions. And we are a tiny community. And we recognize that our planet and our country face enormous challenges, and we are determined to play our part in meeting those challenges, to rebuild our country, to restore democracy, and to save this planet. And I think all of us are impatient with our president, but we love him. We voted for him. We want him to succeed with all our hearts, and we are to paraphrase Allen Ginsberg, who spoke at the first march in 1979, from his great poem To America, he said, I'm putting my queer shoulder to the wheel. And so that's what we're about here. And from the beginning of organizing this, we said that we view our struggle for LGBT equality as part of a much broader and deeper struggle for peace and for social justice across this and all lands. Now, when Mr. Mixner posted his first call to march, it took me by surprise because I'd been telling the young people who were writing to me by the thousands that I didn't think a march was a good idea because I've been to the marches before and they were enormously expensive and complicated and the money went missing and it turned into Lollapalooza. And last march I went to, I felt actually quite alienated by it. I did not feel that it represented me or my dreams for our people or our country. And I actively discouraged the young people who began writing me. I said, oh, you have no idea what a pain in the neck that is. You've got to go to all these meetings and people throw chairs and talk about who's the most depressed and they end up with a laundry list of demands that nobody even reads. But you know, I've got to say over the months I've become increasingly concerned and it just seemed to me that the Democratic Party leadership and even our president we're beginning to step back from the promises that they've made, and since we've seen that happen so many times, I didn't want it to happen again. And then David posted his essay, and there's a weird and wonderful circle that has come to be completed here, because 40 years ago, when I was in high school, this man called for the Vietnam Moratorium Day. And I was at Scottsdale High School, and we walked out of classes, and we marched, and it was the first time I created a flyer on a mimeograph machine. Remember mimeograph machines? And now we've got Facebook and Twitter, and thank God for that, because those mimeograph machines, it just, oh my God, the fuel. So I feel like this is our 40th anniversary. But David, you know, so he posted his essay, and then I posted a response saying, I don't want to march for marriage equality. I want to march for full equality. I'm tired of this laundry list of demands, and then the politicians take one demand out and they hold it up to the wind. You know, say, okay, well maybe you can have this in a year or two. And, okay, well maybe you can have this by 2017. And, I'm done with that. I'm done with that.
Yeah!
My response saying, yes, I think David's right, but let's not do it in November. It's cold. Let's do it in October. It's National Coming Out Day. It's a weekend we've used for marches and quilt displays. Let's make it for full equality in all 50 states. And then what does he go and do? But without talking to me or poor Tori Osborne, he puts out on the Advocate that we're in charge. He didn't call me. He didn't call Tori. We both have jobs. It worked. And we took a lot of heat for it. A lot of heat. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because what we're trying to do, there should be controversy. Because what we're trying to do here is change the strategy. This isn't just a march. This is the beginning of what we believe is going to be a new chapter in this struggle. And when the kids started talking about Stonewall 2.0, I was skeptical because I had been around for a while, not as long as him. And there's people in this room like Judith and Herb and others here and Bill who have been around the block a long time with me as well. And we've seen this before, where some outrageous thing happens. Some idiot beauty queen starts shooting off her mouth. Or some beautiful young man is beaten to death and left to die on a barbed wire fence. And then our people are out in the streets and we see the young people and the older ones say, oh, thank God, here come the kids. And then 2 weeks later, it's over and it's dissipated and it's gone. So when people started saying Stonewall 2.0, I was skeptical. I'm not anymore. It hasn't dissipated. It hasn't gone away. It has deepened and it has grown. And we now have a new generation that has joined the previous generation with a new resolve to abandon a failed strategy, a strategy that was pursued by good people, dedicated people, who had no other strategy to pursue. Because at that time, all we could hope for was limited protections in liberal enclaves like college towns like Ann Arbor and Madison and places like San Francisco and West Hollywood. That was then. This is now. We're not settling. There's no such thing as a fraction of equality. We want equal protection under the law in all matters governed by civil law in all 50 states. And we organize not to march, we march to organize. This is the beginning. You go home. 435 congressional districts. We're going to make it clear to every member of the House, every member of the Senate, there are supporters of equality who live and work and vote and pay taxes in those districts, and that is how we are going to win. So I'm excited to be here, and I also just want to say that we kept every promise we made to this community. Every single one of them. And I'm very proud of that, and it was worth putting up with all the nonsense to get to this day and to know what this day is going to mean for our struggle in the years to come. So thank you all very much for being here.
Yay!